Hi pals, I'm Sam. Today I'm going to show you how to take yarn in its hank form like this and turn it into a workable yarn cake or a yarn ball. So I'm going to show you how to do both of these today. I'm so excited. Some of them do require some tools like a yarn swift or a yarn winder, but others you don't need anything. You can just use your hands. You can lay it on its, I'll show you, don't worry about it. But yeah, so with that, let's get started. Okay, so the first way I'm going to show you how to make a yarn cake is going to be with a yarn swift and a yarn winder. So this is what a yarn swift looks like when it's not open. It's an umbrella swift. This one's from Knit Picks. One of my sweet friends got this for me for a birthday present, but it opens up and that's what your yarn, the hank of your yarn goes on. So you'll need a yarn swift. If you want to do it this way, you do not need a yarn swift, just if you want to yarn wind this way. And I'll have all of that linked in the blog post. It's in the description below this. And then this is a yarn winder. This is from Stanwood. Yeah, Stanwood Needlecrafts. This is this one. You can get them on Amazon. Again, I'll have them all linked and everything for you. And then you'll just need a hank of yarn. So they come like this. This is indie dyed yarn. Some boxed yarns will also come this way. It's all twisted up. So I just slid the skein label off. This yarn is Katie and the Squid. They are just starting to re-dye or do dyeing again, so I'm really excited. So what you're gonna do to get this into a workable situation is first we're gonna set up our tools. All right, first up I'm gonna take my umbrella swift and then I'm going to come down here and set this up. It just slides on. I just have to unscrew it a little bit and it'll slide on to really any table surface. It just has to have a little bit of a lip on it. But this, I'll show you. It opens up pretty wide. So I just unscrew and then it slides on and I tighten it back up. And then the yarn winder is the same way. It's got a little dial on it that makes it go up and down right here. And then I slide that about 2 feet away from my swift. All right, now here's where I'm gonna have to get creative and change camera angles, so I'll be right back. See, new camera angle. Most of the time you're not gonna see my head, so I'm gonna try and just show you the yarn for a little bit here. But this is what the hank looks like. And then, so this is one end where it's like looped all the way around. And then this end has 2 loops on it. So you're just gonna wanna take one of those loops and put your fingers through it and then undo your hank of yarn. And then it'll look something like this. Now you're just gonna take this yarn and drape it around your swift and then slowly open it up until it gets to as far as it can go without being too tight. And then you just lock it into place. So now it sits here. Okay, so we've got our yarn on our swift. It's out as far as it can go with a little bit of room to it. You want it to be able to wiggle a little bit. So now we're gonna have to get these bands off like I was talking about in the beginning. So you're just gonna wanna find, there's going to be a band that will have 2, here it is. It'll be thicker than all the other ones. It'll have 2, like a big knot with 4 pieces tied together. So this is your main one. So you'll cut right at the end of that knot so it unties. And you'll pull out, there's gonna be a loose string and then there will be the 2 ends. So I just grab this end and I pull until I get to the next tie. Then I cut that tie the same way right at the end of that knot, pull this extra thread out, and I keep going to the next one. And sometimes there's normally between like 3 and 5. Sometimes there's more. But yeah, you just keep going till you get all the way back to the beginning. And then this is where we're gonna take this end and attach it to our yarn winder. All right, and so you're just gonna take the end of your yarn and loop it through, or you can just take it and like thread it through if you want to. And then you put it in between these two little gaps and you just start, oh, and then you just start winding. Alright, and then once you get to the end, you'll have the end of your tail. And what I like to do is well, first I'll show you how I take it off here. So I just take my yarn label and I take the tail out because this is where we'll want to pull our yarn from. And I put my yarn label in the middle, make sure that it's all off the bottom. And then that way the yarn label's right in the middle. And then I just take this outside piece and wrap it around, and I just wrap it around a couple pieces on the outside, and that keeps it from untangling. But yeah, that's how that works. Now I'm going to show you, we're going to take this one and I'm going to show you how to wind this without using a yarn winder, just by laying it on the table. Alright, and this way is similar to the way that we just did with the Swift and the yarn winder, but we don't need either one of those. So this we're going to roll it up and wind it into a ball. So you unloop it like we did our last one. And you just lay it out in a circle on your working space. Now we're just going to look for the end, which is right over here. And it doesn't look like this one has multiple, so we'll just have the one, and we'll cut it right by the knot. And then we have our end here. And all I do is I just start winding it around my fingers, and we'll follow it around as we go. And then once I have like quite a bit on there, I'll slide my fingers out and I just start wrapping it around and turning it as I wrap. And if you notice that this is getting to be too messy, or you don't like the way that this is winding up, or if you have like a skein of fingering weight, this is sport weight. So if you have a skein of fingering weight, there's gonna be a whole lot more yarn here. Another way is you can take both of these ends and put them around your knees. Like if you're sitting with your knees crossed or your legs crossed, you can put them on both knees and then unwind that way. You can also have like a partner, friend, person hold their yarn with their hands in it like this, and you can unwind it that way. I just like laying my yarn down and winding it up like this. It's nice and simple, takes a little time, but doesn't take too long if you turn on a show and watch it. Feels like it goes by pretty fast. Fingering weight yarn does take a little bit longer just because it's 400 plus yards. So, all right, and that is how you turn turn hanks into a cake or a ball of yarn. You can also turn this ball of yarn into a cake if you want to. And I can make a video on that as well if that's something you're interested in. But there is a ton of videos out there already. If you just type in yarn ball to yarn cake, you should find a bunch of videos on that. But yeah, so I hope this helps. If you have any questions, just leave those in the comments below. And if not, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!